Okay. Hello, I'm back again. Or if you're just joining me for the first time, so I don't think anybody did join me for that first little bit. I'll probably just delete it later. I'm heading around the lake. It's about 8 or 9 degrees. It's going to 14 or 15 today. I'm assuming in order to cross the bridge, I will have to go across at the walkway here because of the work they've been doing on the sinkhole, unless they somehow have fixed that over the last 2 weeks. They certainly won't have filled the hole. Yes, Halloween is coming up. We'll be out on Halloween to see what this looks like at nighttime and trick-or-treaters are out. I was also saying on the publishing side, I've got the what's called the ARC, Advanced Reading Copy, of Shapers of Worlds Volume 4, the anthology featuring guests of my podcast, The World Shapers. That's the first step. I'll get some printed copies made to send out to reviewers, and then also I'll be soon printing the copies I need for the Kickstarter backers, because these anthologies are all Kickstarted. And then it'll be getting the commercial ones printed much later on. Probably get those done in January because the book comes out January 23rd. Well, probably I'll be getting it end of December. Have to get those files in for printing. But you don't see that every day. I don't see that every day. Yeah, the sinkhole looks just as sinkholey as it ever has. A lot of expensive pumps sitting there. Not doing anything as far as I can tell, but I suppose they're there in case that hole fills up with water. Look down into it. Opened up, back in the spring, I guess. The sun is quite low, so it's going to be in our eyes, well, my eyes, on this leg. There it is. Quite blinding to me. So any texting until that's out of my eyes will be invisible. The screen looks blank to my eyes at the moment. Oh, that's better. Coming up this weekend, tomorrow there's a football game. The last home game for the Riders. Possibly the last game of the season. If they don't win tomorrow and a couple of other teams win in their next couple of games, then we're out of the playoffs because we have just crashed and burned. Last game we won was the big Labor Day Classic against Winnipeg, beginning of September. We were about 6-6 at the time, and we've lost 6 in a row since then. Or is it 5? 5 or 6 in a row. Or we were 6-5. I think there's 18 games. There's one left. Have to add up to 17. Anyway, not good. But we have season tickets, so we'll be there. Although I'll have to leave early because I have an interview at 5 o'clock on Saturday. I'm being interviewed. This time, not me interviewing somebody. And then, honk, honk. And there's a symphony on Saturday night. And then Sunday, when my next podcast is due, although that's not a strict deadline, and
I have rehearsal with West Canada Voices that night, and I have to look at my music before then, so it's a couple of hours back and forth. So yeah, it's a busy weekend. Let's go out this way. Back at the bridge over there, all lit up in the morning. Three ducks.
You're still waiting for a call.
Everybody walking this way is just a silhouette. So if I know them, I can't say hi because I haven't got a clue. Excuse me. I haven't eaten anything this morning, I'm just realizing. I'll want that when I get back. About 45 minutes from now, I should be back home again. Oh, there we go. Time to get that sun out of my eyes. I'll stick to the path today instead of taking a shortcut. Pretty with the sun on the still green grass. And of course downtown is that direction. The college building right over there, part of the University of Regina, home to the Conservatory of Music and other things. Actually, it's called Conservatory of Performing Arts, not just Conservatory of Music. The light sparkling through the tree branches there like little diamonds. Walking a little more briskly than sometimes, I think. The ice and snow will slow me down. Maybe I will take this part of the shortcut here. Hey, on the subscriber front, I'm up to 980, just 20 away from the magic 1,000, where I make a few bucks, very few. But I'd like to get there before I start putting my podcast onto my YouTube channel, which I plan to do in the new year as I refocus it to a wider variety of authors and talking more about new releases than creative process, although we'll still talk about that, I'm sure. The idea is to make it shorter and also have some video and not just audio. Willow Island over there. Here, of course, is where the Lady of the Lake shows up in my Shards of Excalibur series. Right there. You should read those books. The first one is called Song of the Sword. Doing something over there, not sure what. I hear what sounds like a pump, but don't know why they'd be pumping. What is that? I've never noticed that before. I won't point at it, but there's a plaque that says this American elm tree was planted on Thursday, April 27, 1967. The Honorable D.V. Held, QC, Chairman of the Wascana Center Authority, dedicated to Mr. George Watt, who served as provincial landscape gardener. Oh, I know him, 1908 to 1934. And there were others. Yeah, he came up in my, that one there, planted in 1967. George Watt came up in my history of, not just my history, I just revised it, but the history of Government House. And he had a lot to do with planting trees here in Wascana Center because, as I like to remind people, and if you're just joining me for the first time ever, I'll remind you, or tell you, that everything you see here is planted by somebody. Possibly some have sprung up naturally since the initial plantings, but this would have been a bare prairie with a pond in it 110, 120 years ago. It's not a natural landscape really at all for around here, but we'll take it. Willow Island over there. You can rent that one for events. That's where they set off fireworks from too, Canada Day. This is all blocked off then, so you can't get this close to it while the fireworks are going off. Comes a jogger. Bingo! Morning. Another nice view of the lake from this little gap in the trees, with the legislative building just poking up above the end of Willow Island there. Morning. Over there's the Queen building, HMCS Queen, which is a landlocked ship. I think I walked by it last time I did this one. I was going the other direction. Over there. I thought about walking to the warehouse district today, but then I decided I didn't need the money to spend the money it could be, because I'd be eating out if I did that. I already did that more than once this week, so that's too much. Everything's all lit up perfectly in the morning on the legislative building. And the bridge over there. as cold as it's going to be. There's a biker, another bingo item. I ever do those bingo cards I keep talking about. It's a very little dog. He's actually supposed to be on a leash in here, but I won't tell if you don't. We'll go over this footbridge here. In this case, it's not crossing the creek. There's a pond over here that in the summertime has a, no, I'll keep this way today. Sometimes I go up on the there's a platform as soon as you get to where you're lined up perfectly like this. There's a viewing platform over here. Anyway, in the summertime there's a aeration fountain in there to help keep the oxygen in the water and also to look pretty. Look, there's downtown. Our house is right over there. Say the building. And trees everywhere. George Watt. Those black were just like that. Back with the sun in my eyes. Nobody has said anything on my screen, so it doesn't really matter, but I can't read it at the moment. Haven't had a good morning from anybody yet. I can't. I'm not sure I can see Facebook comments. I used to, but then I think I saw a message that says I can't, so I don't understand. Things change. I used to be able to live stream to Twitter, and then I couldn't, yet you should be able to in some fashion. So maybe I just need to jump through some bells and whistles. Yeah. Talk about a mixed metaphor. Here's the marina. Again, at the moment for me, it's just blinding light with some vague shapes around it, but I know what's there. Got the canoe club over here. And you can rent a boat. Oh, it looks like they're open, actually. At least they still have the awning up. Maybe they haven't closed for the winter yet, but it's coming. If they haven't, maybe they just haven't taken down the awning. Bit of a playground there. The deck up there belongs to Willow, Bar Willow it's called now, which as you can see is the nicest deck in the city because it has a view out over the lake. Canada Games, West Canada Lake Center. A lot of these, there was a lot of development done around here after it was deepened in 2003. So quite a bit of the newer buildings go back to then. Now the question is, could I go down here and walk along? There's some canoes down here, and there is a pier that I think I could walk along. I think it'll take me and I can safely get off of it again without drowning. All the canoes. Yeah, I'll go this way. jump over a small gap over here at the boat ramp. Nothing to worry about. Not exactly a jump. There's a very small gap there, but the boat ramp is open, I see. Very popular parking lot over here for people perambulating around the pond. Alliteratively speaking. That's the Connexus Arts Center over there, our major theater. That dark shape against the blinding sun. I'm not sure what the halfway point is. Probably somewhere along this side of the lake. If you add in the bit I walked before I got to the lake, I don't know. Anyway, this is kind of the turnaround point where we start going back the other way. So once we get around this end of the lake, the sun will be behind me. I'll be able to see much better. See, I didn't see her coming at all because of the sun. That's an apartment building over there. Pine Island over there, which I might take a turn on today. I haven't been on it for a while. And in the winter, they don't clear the paths, so I never go out there in the winter. At least not once the snow is a certain level. Here's where we cross the creek. It flows in here, flows out under the bridge at the other end, and that's where the dam is that makes the lake. Okay, I'll take a quick cruisel here. Again, lots of wind here. Pine Island, government building, legislative building, and the marina. And if you turn around, this is Broad Street Bridge, or possibly Wascana Drive. I think maybe it turns into Wascana Drive down here, but everybody calls it the Broad Street Bridge. Couple of ducks on the road here. Get your ducks together. I'm not chasing you. It didn't seem too open to identify what they're flying. You can hear the surf here, if you want to call it that. The water lapping out the shore. That's the wind. You get white caps on the lake in strong enough wind, which we certainly get. But not today, so that's strong enough. I don't see any white caps. Usually quite a few birds down there, but they're mostly gone. I think maybe the geese are mostly left. Either that or they're out in fields fattening up. It's possible. They'll be back later tonight. They tend to fly into town in the evening after being out in farmers' fields all day. Eventually, they head south. Most of them, anyway. Some sort of is, which makes more sense for them. The bicycles, it's the third or so. A couple of joggers, a couple of dogs. Oh, there's somebody saying hello. Good morning from Montreal. Good morning, Jeff. don't think I did a walk in Montreal when I was there a couple years ago now, a year and a half ago. Came back to Montreal. I don't think I did. I don't know why. I don't like doing it in strange cities usually, actually. That's what people run into. I guess that's true in Regina too. Only had one or two people cause a problem. Got yelled at by a guy once. Oh, a couple of people actually yelling at me. But in 2.5 years, I guess that's not too bad. There's a guy that kind of followed me and was muttering to himself. Said he knew what I was doing. I was following people and making fun of them online. No, I wasn't. I'll make fun of you, sir. I actually deleted that from the recording, but he wasn't one of our most with it citizens. I don't think I will go on Pine Island. I want to get on home and get back to work, so I'll keep moving. There's Pine Island Bridge. Lines up with the ledge again, right there. Should go the other way over there. The sky looks pretty today. Nice and blue. Surveyor's monument here. I wrote the history of the Saskatchewan Surveyors Association a few years ago. I knew quite a bit about it for a while. After rereading the book, I don't remember what I wrote. That's always the way. Occasionally have calls. I wrote this book about the mutiny on the Valley. You want to do an interview? I'd have to say I wrote that so long ago, I don't remember what's in it. I'm not an expert. I'm a writer. I can write about anything I can research. It doesn't mean I retain all that information. For example, genetics demystified. I wrote that. I taught myself enough genetics to write a book from McGraw-Hill. And I couldn't talk to you about genetics without rereading my own book. It's 20 years out of date now, so the speed at which that field moves. I'm surprised it's still even on sale, but I think it is. I'm a hired gun. You need something written? Get in touch. We'll make it happen. Unstable internet connection. I hate that. I never know how bad it is. Sometimes it happens along here, and I think it's because of being so close to this wall of bushes, but so yeah, it went away as I went past that gap, so that would seem to be a strong indication that's where the problem lies. I don't know where the nearest cell phone tower is. Let's kind of rehab over there. I can walk briskly and keep talking, but I do breathe a little harder, is what I would expect. As the leaves go blowing past. I might take the goose path here. Oof, haven't done that for a while. Or I could go that way, go by the... Let's take the goose path. There's usually geese down here, but I don't think there are right now. Since I didn't go on Pine Island, this could be my additional perambulation instead. Something white there, but I don't think it's a pelican. It's just translations. I haven't seen any pelicans for a while. I suspect they've already gone wherever it is they go as the weather changes or the seasons change. This tree that blocks the path seems to me like it. Maybe they cut off. There used to be one that was lying right on the ground. Maybe they trimmed that off finally. That Spruce Island over there, that's a wildlife preserve, I guess you'd call it. I mean, there is a landing there, but you can't rent that or use it for functions or anything. Never been over there. Don't know anybody who has, but I'm sure park naturalists and people like that go to there. Yes, the park has its own naturalist. I used to know who it was, but I'm sure he's long gone. Ooh, some more prettier trees right ahead here. A little bit more color than we sometimes get, and still quite a few leaves left. One of the nicest little patches of color I've seen. As we get back on the main path. And I've got a unstable internet warning again. That one's still got quite a bit of color and leaves left in it. But these have gone, nope, we're done. We are done for the winter. There's the totem pole, gifted to mark the centennial of British Columbia, back when that was, and then repaired and fixed up by the son, I believe, of the original carver. I remember what the plaque says. I'm not walking over there today, but I have in the past. Unstable transmission warning went away, so hopefully I'm better again now. Maybe I'll go by the tennis courts today. Don't know when they close for the season. They probably already have. As I said, if the weather forecast holds true, it's going to turn into winter next week. And if it holds true, there's going to be quite a bit of snow on the ground by the end of the week. We'll see. The ground is probably still warm, so a lot of that will melt rather than accumulate. But eventually it does start to accumulate. Whether it's too early for it to accumulate yet or not, we'll find out if it does what it says it'll do. If it comes down hard enough, heavy enough to cover the ground, then what comes down after that will stick, and the ground quickly cools off. Trees are mostly giving up the ghost over there and along here. Different species, I guess, react differently as the season changes. We've had very little frost,
which seems to accelerate some of these, but even without that, everybody's thinking as much as trees think. You know, time to hunker down, prepare for the winter. That's the Holodomor Memorial over there to the Ukrainians and the Russian genocide of Ukrainians under Stalin. We have a large Ukrainian population here in Saskatchewan. It's the tennis courts over there. You can't usually see them that clearly through the trees, but we're going to go over there and take the path that leads beside it. We'll go in behind the legislative building and then walk around to the front of it. Probably is what's going to happen here. So we will sort of be leaving. Well, I guess we'll see the lake again once I get on the other side of the ledge. I very rarely follow this path all the way around. I don't know why. It just seems too obvious. I'd like to do something different. Right up here, there's a path. They do have a deck and kind of canteen, so you can come here in the summer, enjoy, but I doubt that's open. I'm sure it's not open. And there's nobody on the tennis courts this morning, it looks like, unlike when I walked by here in the summer. All signs of the change of the seasons, changing of the guard. Hate to see it. The older I get, the less I like winter. It's funny that. I'll take this path today because I don't normally. The scenic path by the outhouses. See, that's where they, in the summer, they have tables and chairs, and they have a canteen that you can get stuff at. No, it's not the outhouses, so that's good. Actually, I'm sure there's indoor plumbing in there. It's just a storage shed. Decisions. Actually, we'll go around this way and then walk. Up to the legislative building. Sure, the fountain is off as well. Trafalgar Fountain is right over here. Yes, it's off. But then over here you get this nice approach to the east wing of the legislative building. You turn around, you got the fountain, which did in fact at one point stand in Trafalgar Square. All right, here's the ledge, full of politicians and other animals. That's a joke, sort of. Actually, it isn't full of any other animals, only politicians. It's a politician zoo, plus their minders and keepers. Right along the wall of it here today, I think, up onto the steps. Probably a film crew, a TV crew setting up there, it looks like. The
House is in session, so legislature's in session. They may be in there debating right now. I think my horizon has been slightly wonky all morning, but I don't know what to do about it. I like the gimbal, but because there's but if I didn't have the additional receiver at the end for the microphone, I think it would balance better than it does. But what can you do? Not getting a new microphone. I've gone through too many of them. See, they're flying the Ukrainian flag there in support. All right, we'll go up on the steps here. See the cornerstone, Saskatchewan Legislative Executive Building, erected in 1908 to 1911. Stone laid by His Excellency Earl Grey, General of Canada, as in the Grey Cup. And then over here it says, Her Majesty's King George and Queen Elizabeth visited this building on May 25th, 1939. There's the new downtown. You can see there's no flowers left in the ornamental gardens. I shall descend. I think I'll actually go down here, across to the other side, instead of going back to the lake. So we will walk in this direction. Could cut across the grass. So I'll go down this side and then angle over to where I can get on the slides at the bridge. Over here, I'll turn around and give another look at the legislative building. Bit silhouetted at this time of morning. I think we'll cut through the grass here, walk across the lawn. This is used a lot for outdoor events. Yeah, Canada Day, this is all full of food courts, food booths, and there's a big stage and they have concerts. They do that for other events as well. So I'm not breaking any laws by walking on the grass. And of course there's the lake. We're going to angle this way. I think there's an opening through the trees there. See the leaves falling in the sunlight there? At least I can. Yeah, we'll go through this gap. Walk. This is the scenic walk by the washrooms. There's even a pedestrian crossing here. Not that the traffic is usually such that one needs to worry too much. Public washrooms open May to October, 6 to 10. So they should be open right now, but I'm not taking you in there. Sorry. This is not that kind of live stream. Not live streaming any streams, if you get my drift. Which you may wish you hadn't, but anyway, it amused me for a moment. Another fog. Unfortunately, we've hit this light just wrong, so we'll have to wait a bit. Or I walk down the bridge on this side and cross at the other end, but then I just have to wait down there. So it's Canadian flag flying here on the Albert Street Bridge, looking straight up to downtown. This is Regina Avenue, which would take you to the airport in pretty short order, going out that way, straight run to the airport. And that's looking the other way, south up Albert. And of course, when I was in Ottawa last week, I was staying on Albert Street, but the one in Ottawa, the one here. Both of them named after Prince Albert, Victoria's consort. Oh, look at those leaves. There's another leaf. Thanks for you. Except for the bus cutting through it. It's a long light. So waiting, there it goes yellow. And there we go. It's our fourth jogger of the morning. Have to go down here, and then you can get up onto the bridge proper, because that's people turn in that lane. We'll get a look at the creek up here. I always wonder how many people think I have a radar gun here and slow down when they see me with this thing, because it does have that look. I'm always worried I'll have to explain it in airport security, but so far I never have. Oh, he's going right here. A lot of leaves on the bridge. I'm walking in them to stay as far away from the cars as possible, but also because I like the crunch. Just call me Captain Crunch. Morning. It is. You too, or your ride. Guess he knew me. There we go. Here's the creek. Sometimes there's water down here spilling under the bridge, but not today, because there just isn't so much this time of year. Saskatchewan coat of arms there. Have a look at the creek as we go over it. There's a dike down there, but you can't get on it from here, unfortunately, or I would take it. I mean, you could probably clamber over the edge and jump down without hurting yourself. Somebody could. Won't be me, though. That reminded me that yesterday when I was at the coffee shop, the guy, as he was leaving, came over and said, "Are you the guy that does those videos walking around Regina?" And I said I was, and he said they'd watched several hours of those when they were trying to decide they were going to move to Regina, and I influenced them to decide to come. So I should get paid by the city of Regina, fairly. And yet I won't. Some nice red bushes there. I have thought, what if I contacted real estate people and said, I'll walk in the neighborhood where you have properties to sell for a small fee, $100. Put it down as advertising, write it off. I've never done it, but I don't actually think it's such a bad idea. Can't do it until I can reliably have a car, but I just might follow up on that sometime soon. See what happens. What they can do is they'll say, that's a stupid idea. Again, I'd like to have that magic 1,000 subscribers. So, and I'm only 20 away, so if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this for the first time, or if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this for the 10th time, please take a moment to subscribe. As soon as I end, there'll be a button that you can click on, I think. I've never looked at it, but I think that's what it is. Another look at certainly the most impressive Halloween display we've seen so far. The house in front of us always has tons and tons of Christmas lights, but they don't seem to do that much for Halloween. What do? 2 pumpkins and maybe some orange lights around the door. That's what we'll do. I'm more looking forward to Halloween because I have a sales meeting with the sales force regarding Shadowpaw Press's spring-summer titles for next year. And there's some exciting ones there. There's one I can't announce online until the end of the month, so that's also something I'll be announcing at the end of the month. Is this major release I have coming up next year. So. I hate seeing pictures of lost cats. And yet, ours will never be lost because he never goes outside, so we always know where he is. Well, that's not quite true because he's a cat. We always know he's in the house. He can secrete himself in places where you don't think to look. That's for sure. But over the years, he's kind of picked up a few specific ones. Maybe I'll go along Leopold Crescent today, because it's also pretty. Late autumn now, very much Halloween looking as far as the number of leaves, but still appreciably fall, still some color. Soon enough this will all be black and white, black and brown, but not much to choose between that and black and white. Houses along here too. And I got, oh no, I guess it's not. It looked like Halloween, but it's just the shape of the legs of the chairs. Nice house. Don't believe I've ever been in that one. There's another one down here I've been in. These people have a pretty impressive fountain in front of their house, which seems to go in with the sort of European look of the house. That house I've been in. A friend of Alice's lived there. More leaves coming down. Windy day like today, we'll strip some more trees. This one's for sale. Seems nicely kept up. There's the number if you want to call, but quick, it's gone. Of course, this house I often mention was used in a movie many years ago starring Linda Carter called Family Blessings, I think it was called. They shot in the house and in the neighborhood a little bit, so we had fake U.S. police cars and fake U.S. post office boxes around here. I was living over on Garnet Street, which puts it, early 90s, I guess, when they shot that. So, a long time ago. Keep meaning to look it up. I'll probably find it somewhere, just to see what the neighborhood looked like. Little free library over there. I could go around and fill up every one of those with boxes of books that I have. That'd be a bad idea for some of the ones that are editions that I don't sell anymore, like Flames of Neviana. I have quite a few of those, but it was supplanted by a new edition called Blue Fire, so I don't sell the old one anymore. Alrighty, how long was that altogether? Just under an hour, not what I figured. I like to stop at the stop sign here in Angus Crescent, and so I will. Thanks for walking with me. Not sure what will happen over the weekend, but hopefully one day I'll walk. Bye for now.